guys and dolls, Da Big Kahuna, Tommy J, coming to you from the Batcave. We're checking in with Pikachu. It's 2 o'clock. So we have 4 hours till 1800 when lights go on in here. So we're going to have to work in green mode in the West Room. We got D-Man here today. He's done from his little sabbatical yesterday. So you can see we've got some stuff we've picked up here. I'm going to go ahead, now that we have the head cam thing, I'll show you how we make the buckets and the whole drainage system. I'll, keep the thing on my head and whatever. We'll do a vlog, on this. But this part, the small paint pails, are going to get cut. That's where all these guys come from, okay? And I'll show you how we do that with a zip router bit kind of a thing. So we cut these pails down and we use the top part. So it gets cut around here, okay? And then that top part goes down in the bucket, and we also have to put a hole in it so that, what do you call it? So that the water drains out fine. Then these guys get cut down too, so that it's just tall enough so that when the other buckets that we make like these, okay, and we got 8 of those. So all in all, if you add it all up, you're at, these are like just under $4. This one's just under $4. These are just over $4. So let's just call them $4 a bucket. And you can get the orange ones cheaper, and you can make the bottoms out of the orange buckets. They're like $3, okay? So you could save $2 per station by going with the orange. But I don't know if you noticed, we got issues like with matching and all sorts of things. So we got the black and white bucket, so we paid $2 extra. But so basically each one's going to cost you $12 for the ring that goes in the bucket, and then figure you're adding $1, let's call it $2 for a grommet and a vinyl piece that comes out to attach into the drain. So you're into a bucket anywhere from $12 to $15, and then after that, the only thing that changes, this stuff stays in there full time, and then you just work on these. And I have to get in here with the little razor and take the schmutz off. So then this is all that moves. So this loaded goes into veg and it drips, and then just this bucket goes and sits in the stations. So that makes it easy for us to kind of get the things around. And if they're not soaking wet, if they haven't just been watered, I can, on a good day, I can move this with a plant in it. But I actually prefer to have D-Man do it. So we will be in here. Going to we got a couple bags of Portland cement. I'll have D get this stuff out of here. I think first thing we'll do is do acid on the floor. And when I do the acid on the floor, I'll go ahead and turn this one off so that I'm not taking acid air and blowing acid air into veg and blowing acid air into the East Flower Room.
And I just read on the bottle of the one at Home Depot, we're gonna want to spray the plants with something, because that's one of the precautionary steps for having plants near the muriatic acid, is to just spray with water or whatever, and just get them wet, and it'll help protect it against any neighbors. So we should do that.
Well, my plan is
Just seal it all off.
it's too thick. Yeah, it's just to seal it off and put we have multiple blowers. We'll put a blower.
I was figuring on doing both just to play it safe.
I'd rather not. Yeah, I'd just rather seal it up, get the air out of here, because once we get it, we can open both of these up. Once we get it out of here, it can go through this and out, and we'll put a blower out there too. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get D-Man on this. So we'll get the acid on the floor. We got epoxy for the floor for here. We got epoxy for the floor out there. So we figure get the acid done. Yeah, and that removes any sticky or any schmutz kinds of stuff. Then we'll cement that in, and then we'll bring our board in here and start setting up to do the cementing in the bucket. So our goal is to get all the cementing done today. So Dee will work on some of this stuff. I'll give him a punch list on that. I'll work over here. I'll get D-Man to get this shit out of here too. I'll set this area up with the zip tool. You guys have seen these things, I'm sure. This is what we use for doing the buckets, and I just hold it with clamps and I measure it a certain height. You'll see when we do it, and then I can just stick the bucket into it, spin it around, and it cuts them nice and easy. So we'll get those done, and you'll get to see exactly how I do those. I know I'm kind of new at all this stuff, and taking advice from me has got to be scary. But from what we've seen, go look at our old grows, okay? And look at the difference for how our plants are beasting, our points are up on our resin production. I mean, just everything. Now we've gotten a little bit better growing, obviously, and we've, we switched some of the newts back, but we had some of these newts going before, I think, didn't we? We had newts going before we got the, we kind of switched about the same time, didn't we?
Actually, we switched to Cocoa Tech after we switched
to AirPot?
Cocoa. To AirPot?
About the same time.
Yeah.
So
a little earlier.
Yeah.
Just a little earlier.
Roughly. These are making a huge frickin' difference. They were such a huge difference when we had the old one, which really only had the bag up to here. So all that, and then it was tighter inside, so it wasn't touching the edges. We thought it would leak out. They don't. So making this bag like this, you can, if you don't want to go through what we went making the MILF sacks, and we're actually contemplating making MILF sacks available. We don't know, but you can take landscaping fabric and just simply line the inside of this if you wanted to, or you could take landscaping fabric and a stapler and just like staple up, get a piece that's roughly 37 inches and just staple it up, and you can put a piece on the bottom and have it folded up a little bit, and then put a cylinder in there. It won't be as neat as the MILF sacks that we make, but this having the air on the bottom, what goes on with the roots that we've noticed is completely different than even when we just ran the normal air pots, and we did them like I've seen everybody do, where you got a little bit of hydrogen or whatever on the bottom, you got it in the tray, and we always wound up with roots that went all the way down there, big roots going down, looking for that pile of water in the bottom. And then also, depending on how the girls are drinking or whatever, have a little water in the tray, the roots wind up all in between the hydrogen, and they got sometimes looking towards like when I had hassles in hydro, you know. And so we thought, well, if we raise this, you know, hang it in space, then because a plant's going to send out something tap, it's going to go looking, and if it hits air and stops, boom, just starts bifurcating. And you see when we take these root balls apart, there's no big roots in there, but the entire thing is just a tied up mass with fine hair, fur, roots going everywhere. So you know, again, taking advice from me, I don't know what that's worth, but I'd highly suggest that you give it a shot, trying to come up with some system on your own or copy what we do. Golly, you know, we've gone through several iterations, and this is no questions the best, the cleanest and everything in the rooms. So anyway, we'll be showing you how to make some of those things on today's vlog, and we'll be checking in on D-Man. We'll be getting tunage on. Oh yeah, we have tunage playing right now. Yeah. And yeah, we'll be doing our stuff, and we'll be showing you what's going on. We'll show you things when lights come on. We'll just leave everybody just sitting for right now. But yeah, that's what we're gonna get up to, guys and us. So I am going to get off for a minute and make a punch list for D. Make sure we're in an understanding of who's the boss and what we're doing, and I will check back in with you. All right, guys and dolls, catch you a bit. Back, D-Man got the cocoa emptied out. In fact, we went above and beyond. We got all the used cocoa into the old MILF sacks and the old pots we used to have. We got 16 of them out there all ready to go for all kinds of tomatoes, and we're gonna do all sorts of stuff. Tomatoes, basil. D wants to get some peppers going and everything. So I'll show you how I make these cups, the drain cups for the MILF sacks. So I start with the black. I like the black and white, so you can do this exact thing I'm about to do with one of these buckets, okay? Because you only need the bottom 7, so you could have these be your cups, and then you could also make this part out of this, but we're not going to do that today because we got issues and we want it all to be the same color. So what I start off doing is getting these little handles out of here. And I keep looking up to go through my bifocals. So I'm going to try to learn to work through my glass, but I can't see. Okay, so this one comes. There it is. So that's the way I found to get these bad hombres out, is to the easy way. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of way to get it out there, but I just find out which way the little thing goes, and so this one goes in and up. So all I have to do is put this on here, and boop, right out it comes. Whoop, there it is. And I just found it's easier to have these out of the way while I'm doing my stuff. Not the right way. Correct. Last one here. air out of the way. So for my setup, and you're going to adjust this, you might need to make it higher, you might not need it as high as I do, but overall what you're after is you want the exit port out of the pot just a little bit higher than your highest drain. So that way everything drains down. You know, let gravity work for you rather than, the whole goal is to keep things dry in the bottom of the pot. So for my setup, what works out is cutting up 6 7/8. Okay, so off my thing, you see I'm at 6 7/8 for my bit there, and I've just took a piece of wood and popped it on with, you know, some clamps, so it just kind of holds it there. It's not government work or anything, you know, or it is government work. You can do it sloppy, you know. I mean, it's just cutting it. You could actually leave it higher, but I like to leave the air. So I'm going to cut those off, and then next we'll get into the white pails, and I'll have to lower this to where the blade, the bit is at 4 inches. So we'll just show you how. Oh, got to plug the bad ombre in. Little temperamental that way. And then it's a zip bit, so you can just punch into it. And I hold my hand down in here and I spin it. So here we go. This used to have a head on it, and that looks pretty shitty. So what's happening is I'm getting too far back on the thing. I wonder where the head made it to. There it is. I didn't realize D had taken this off. Oh, it broke it off. That's why it's off. Okay. I just need it to rest there so that my pot doesn't go all the way down. All right, let's try this again. So I will go ahead and finish those up, and you don't have to listen to that rude noise. So I'll be back in a moment or two. Okay, guys and dolls. Back, I got those finished and stacked these up. They're about to get the handles taken off. I've set my drill up to the proper height. and within a 1/8 inch. It's not rocket science stuff here. So yeah, we're gonna go through, get these ombres off. Wonder if I should have a contest, guys and dolls, and we can give away these paint handles. What do you think, huh? Everybody runs contests. Alrighty. Start getting through it. I'll show you one or two, and then I'll go ahead and turn the vid off so you don't have to listen to all of it. Up, a little temperamental, wants to be plugged in. All of my power tools are temperamental that way. I don't get it. Must be a physics thing. All right, here we go. So that goes in there. And then this sits on it. Okay? So, I'll go ahead and stop the video and I'll finish these off. Well, I'll show you one more. Sure you'll notice, but just to make it completely transparent, you see when I'm